There are places in New York that don't exist anymore. Buildings torn down, businesses closed, entire blocks transformed. But if you grew up here, they live forever in your memory. And even though you can't go back to them physically, you can close your eyes and remember exactly what they looked like, how they smelled, who you were with, and why they mattered, and that version of New York only exists in the minds of the people who were there. You're not going to believe how much we lost because this list is going to hurt. Tower Records in the Village, where you could spend hours flipping through CDs, discovering music, talking to people who actually knew what they were talking about, and feeling like you were part of something bigger than just buying an album. And when it closed in 2006, it felt like losing a piece of New York's soul, because streaming killed the physical music store, but it also killed the community that came with it. The original Penn Station before they tore it down in the 60s and replaced it with the ugliest building in New York. A Beaux-Arts masterpiece with soaring ceilings and natural light that made you feel like travel was something grand. And now we're stuck with a basement that smells like sadness and regret. And every time you walk through current Penn Station, you're reminded of what we destroyed. CBGB on the Bowery, where punk rock was born, where the Ramones and Blondie and Talking Heads played before anyone knew who they were, a grimy dive bar covered in stickers and graffiti that smelled like beer and history. And when it closed in 2006 to become a luxury boutique, it felt like the final death of old New York, the last gasp of a city that used to be dangerous and exciting instead of safe and expensive. Kim's Video in the East Village, where you could rent obscure foreign films and cult classics and talk to the clerks who knew everything about cinema. And when it closed in 2014, it marked the end of an era when people actually had to leave their house to discover culture, instead of just scrolling Netflix. The Limelight nightclub in a converted church on 6th Avenue, where Studio 54 Energy lived on in the 90s. A place so iconic and so wild that when they turned it into a mall, it felt like a metaphor for everything wrong with modern New York. The Automat, where you put coins in a slot and food came out of a little window, a piece of mid-century New York that felt futuristic and nostalgic at the same time, and even though the last one closed in 1991, people who remember it still talk about it like it was magic. The World Trade Center before 9/11, which was more than just buildings. It was a skyline,